the issue with the testing and the fact that our numbers are reducing came up again recently when the US issued something like a travel alert. And in that alert, it means that if you can avoid traveling to that country, don't go. Do you think that it's a good assessment?
Well, I mean, I think that Americans have cause to be more concerned about the management of coronavirus infection in their own country more than in Ghana. We have seen pictures of people being managed in ambulances outside of the big hospitals. We have seen the large number of deaths, and we have not witnessed any of these in Ghana. Of course, they may be looking at their own susceptibility and looking at the fact that perhaps if one were to get critically ill, in terms of critical support, having access to intensive care units and all of that, there may be some challenges on that front. I mean, to be honest, if people had suffered severe illness like we see in the West, and many people had to get intensive care unit support, I think that we may have struggled to an extent, but we didn't see that. So sometimes they would look at the fact that if people fell critically ill, in terms of being mobilized, being quickly attended to, having ICU level support, they may struggle a bit. And I think some of these may inform the alerts they're given. But to a large extent, I think that the Americans need to be a bit more concerned about what is going on in their own country. If you look at the traffic, the sheer travel traffic, you cannot really do a test that takes 3 days to come. You need a test that gives you rapid results. So that is where I suppose they are doing the antibody test within the airport. But in many other places, these rapid tests tend to be cheaper than the PCR test that the likes of Noguchi would do. And the PCR test, which is supposed to be looking at the RNA virus, tend to be more expensive, tend to be the gold standard, so to speak. And I know that on the commercial rates, even if you look at private facilities, they are charging something close to $100 per test, for the likes of Noguchi. So I definitely expected the cost of the airport test to be much lower, than the 150. And I've just read stories about whether they have just gone through their proper protocols. You may have read a statement put out by Imani, whether the Food and Drugs Authority, whether the Health Facilities Regulatory Authority have done proper certification. So I'll be more interested in some of those being carried out, because I remember that at the beginning of the pandemic, the FDA had cause to look at some of these other tests and recommended that we stick to the PCR for now. So I just would want to make sure that whichever company is testing has gone through the requisite approvals by the statutory bodies to make sure that the correct standards are being followed.